So that's another way to start making connections.
All right, I admit it, I used to work for Gal.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any videos that we could post? So, I mean, social media is a tremendous tool. I'm a part-time substitute teacher, retired inspector general, and from the military. So we weren't the criminal folks, but we were the, let's get to the bottom of this thing. But in my PTA in Poolsville, we have a social media website. We have a Facebook website. If you had a video that summarized what you just did, I mean, I would post it. I mean, in PTA meetings, there's 4 teachers and 3 parents that show up. If there's food, there's 6. But I've got 1,300 friends on my Facebook. And I would post that on the PTA website, as well as my town website, as well as my, I don't know, I may post it on my candidate website, on my, people on my, if you have something like that, please share it with us, or, a YouTube video that we could just link to or something.
Well, we've got, it's a great suggestion.
Is this a videotape?
Tonight.
I'm taping, yeah.
Great. I won't have to do it again then. Yes, sir. Brian.
Yes, I am a teacher with Montgomery County Public Schools. I've been there 24 years. When I first started my career, I saw 2 cases early on where adults, teachers, were accused of child abuse early on. I mean, the moment the accusation was made, and I'm going back to about 95, 96, 97, the accusation was made, those people went on immediate administrative leave while it was investigated. And those 2 cases, both of them turned out to be very inaccurate and were very, I mean, even kids said, one case the kid said, yeah, I made it up. In another case, the kid who was a third party who said, I think I saw something, and the kid, even the said no, but these teachers spent weeks and weeks and weeks out. What I'm stunned at in this case, the more recent cases, accusations have come forward and people have stayed in their jobs for, forget weeks, years.
Oh, yeah.
Years.
Right.
And that's disturbing. Up the school where I work, which is Montgomery High School, we had an issue with the head of our security. A prosecutor has gotten up and explained, hey, the school put memos in there. I don't understand. If we go through a report, in the last 2 or 3 years, we've gotten a much more intense training, but understand, there is a broken culture in school administration.
Absolutely.
And that's where we as teachers are put in a horrible position. Basically, there is a cover your back. I will tell people once again, Google the name Moreno Carrasco. This gentleman was recently resigned from the Nashville Public Schools for sexual harassment of staff. He used to train assistant principals and principals here in Montgomery County because he was removed as principal of my school for similar allegations. And not even removed, he's actually stayed there several times. So there's a culture, even when staff are victim of sexual harassment, those people get moved to the central office. It's been extremely terrible. Let's be clear. Mr. Bowers knew when he was in, Dr. Smith knows, this is deeply, deeply troubling. It's been going on, unfortunately, it's gotten worse over the last about decade. And I'm not sure why, but for some reason, it should be an easy call. So I would say, if you really want to have an effect, I think ask each of Montgomery County's over 200 principals to sign something that say the moment they find out or any accusation comes to their attention, they will report it. And not to their bosses, to Child Protective Services. And I don't understand the reason we're covering up, but it's distressing.
Thank you.
Call, and it's not go to your school administration, it's go to the authorities. You could have been asking for help, but that's
Every
not.
administrator I talk to, though, I get the same response. We're addressing your concern. We hear your concern, and it is a legal response because it doesn't matter who I talk to. all the way up the ladder, from the principal to the assistant superintendent to the superintendent's office. It is the exact same response, and it's written by the attorneys.
Right, and the attorneys are holding fast to this, but I will say it's not the same issue, but look what's going on in DC with the graduation scandal, PG. Some
Yeah.
high-level officials are on administrative leave, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir, I think you've
I
been
just wanted to
trying.
add, I'm also a teacher at Northwood High School. Brian and I are both active in the union, and I think having a presentation like this at the union would be a great idea, and teachers would be very receptive to it. And I would also add that another way to get directly to teachers is that every single, and support staff members, is that all of their email addresses are on public school websites. And not that you would want to have an extended conversation over those emails because they're monitored by the school system, but it would be a way to get them whistleblower information or a phone number that they could use.
Or invite them to a meeting.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Sir, I think you wanted to.
Yes, I'm eager. You know, I think Montgomery County is a beautiful place to live, but it's a place that has a lot of dark secrets. It is great communities. When the lights go out, the electric power, we don't have policemen in the intersections, and most citizens respect the right of way and use it, allow the other person to cross the intersection. Few communities have what Montgomery County has. On the other hand, Montgomery County, I've been here since 1972, is a county that was difficult to figure out. The school system was reported in the Washington, well, not the Washington Post, in the Sentinel newspaper. Do you know Sentinel newspaper?
Yeah.
Okay. It was one of the two people who did the Watergate stories for the Washington Post. One of them was a reporter for the Sentinel, and it was a devastating story about the public school in Montgomery County. Not in terms of the teachers, but in terms of the culture. Our culture has been to sweep everything under the rug. If you don't believe it, well, ask me. I have fought a lot of that, not because I benefit from it, but because I just hate people taking advantage of someone else, especially children. We moved our children out of Montgomery County when I did my residency in medicine and pathology. No, there was no reason to do that, except the public schools were so marginal in Silver Spring. That is 1982. To give you an example, Columbia, Missouri, we called it the refugee camp of Montgomery, of Silver Spring. That's how poor the schools were. And I don't want to dwell too much on the thing, but when people say go and speak to the union of teachers, my God, you're going to the lion's den. You know, it's not that the teachers are bad. The power structure within the unions are to be subservient to the Democratic Party. It's just impossible. So is the county government, so is the police department. It's not that they're going to persecute you, but everything you do will be, cover and delay and delay. I took Montgomery County Executive Doug Duncan twice, for flagrant violations of the law, of the county law, to the ethics board. We didn't go anywhere. Went to the Washington Post. They were not interested. They're not interested. At that time, I don't know now, I don't have any association with the Post. And I have written a lot for the Post. Because they are not a community paper. They want to be a national paper, like the New York Times. So their issues are larger. So you have to persevere, you know, and you have to fight. I have fought the Pentagon. I've taken government to court. I've done many things, not for money, but for principle. And at the end, I'm very happy I did all the things, you know, because nobody came and shot at me, nobody did anything. You know, the Civic Federation have been the best ally I had from 1973 to the present that I had as a civic activist.
Oh,
Thank you. And I think you've been waiting patiently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around all this, because it's like, it's amazing how many,
Yeah.
really, how many pieces, to what really you can call it almost conspiracy, like just this conspiracy of silence. That we've got, of course, the schools and the administration there, and then, like, Child Protective Services has to be complicit in this as well, like, to not, and I'm just shocked that, you know, CPS spent 6 months harassing my family for, like, letting our kids go to the playground, and yet it's acceptable for teachers to harass and sexually abuse children. Like this, it's like impossible for me to wrap my head around it. So the question is, what can, you know, citizens and activists do to, like, to be part, you know, to make ourselves one of those arrows, you know, as parents, like, talking about teachers, you know, what are some of the ways you think that we can just make noise?
I'm going to turn this over to our host from the Civic Federation for the main answer to your question. From Gab's perspective, what you can do is talk to teachers, talk to staff at the schools that you know because you've teamed up with teaching your kids, and get the word out to them that if they come across this, there's a team of lawyers who's willing to follow through, not commercial, it is a volunteer project, that there's a lot of relevant rights, that it pays to learn those rights, to make sure that they can act on their values safely, or minimize the risk, and refer them to us. That's what you can do that'll help us help you. But I should turn this over to our host for the real answer.